Landfest. I am the Bearded Berserker. This is Infernal WAN Mayhem. Tonight we're going to be building a NUC laptop. It is a 9th generation Intel Core i7-9750H with an NVIDIA discrete graphics card, a 2070 Super with their Max-Q design. It's going to have a 1920 by 1080 IPS display with a 144 hertz refresh rate. We do have mechanical keyboards on board with optical switches as well as some RGB because that makes everything go faster. Won't get into the rest of them, but we'll go ahead and get into this. I want to thank every single one of y'all for buying a laptop, supporting LANFest, and taking on the challenge of building your own computer. Like I told y'all before, you're the unlucky ones. You picked the hardest computer to build, and it's going to be grueling and time consuming. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Like all of y'all to take your laptops out of the cases. I'd like you to get your RAM packages, your SSD packages. Make sure that you have a Phillips head screwdriver. You have a bowl to put your screws in. Awesome. Y'all are all on top of it. It's almost like, we sent out instructions and you read them and you follow the directions.
Crazy, right?
It's crazy. I'm proud of every one of y'all. So I'll go ahead and switch. I got the laptop out. This laptop is going to be given away, so I'm going to let that person have the pleasure of peeling the plastic off. For this build, you can leave it on, take it off, whatever suits you. I'm a plastic lever. So we'll go ahead and turn it over, and then we'll turn it back over, lift it up. Right here we have a power button. I want you to make sure that there's not a blinking white light, right? So if I hit the power button, turn it on, see how the white light's blinking on it? We want to make sure that is not the case, and if this is the case, press and hold the same power button until the light turns off. Just like that. Nice little protector. The keyboard is pretty nice. It all blacked out. It's got good feel. So we'll go ahead and put the protector back on. We'll flip it over so the back side's up. Now here we have 10 screws that we want to go ahead and take off. And we'll go ahead and start doing that now.
Alright.
There's no particular order that you need to do this in. Maybe when it comes to tightening it back down after we're done, you can argue that there's a good order to put it back in. But one of the things with the screws, if they keep turning when you go to take them out, you should kind of feel them click, and that's how you know they're fully out. These shouldn't be terribly difficult to remove. We won't tighten them at all hard, too tight.
2, 1.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have a thunderstorm going on down here in the heart of Texas. I live in Austin. It's just rolling in, hitting hard. Power's flickering on and off. Was not expected. It said it was supposed to be light rain. Didn't think anything of it. Not severe thunderstorms. Lightning struck outside my house so hard that it shook the room. Like my screws are got shook from my container. Okay? So,
Oh, so there's your excuse.
uh-huh. I got a couple of screws loose at this point.
God.
Everybody's gotten their screws off. We're taking the back plate off. We access the back plate by putting our nail underneath the Ethernet port here. The three places I'd like you to identify right now, we have a piece of tape here, one here, and one here. What I'd like you to take note of is underneath it, or even if you look right here, you can see that we have a short side and a long side, right? That will match up with your RAM. You have a short side and a long side.
I missed where the fourth piece of tape is.
The third piece of tape, right here.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I got him.
So the reason I'm pointing this one out is this is where our SSD is going to go. We have two slots. You could put them in either one that you want. So we'll go ahead and remove the RAM from the packaging. The way I did that, and I left one to show you, is I took scissors and I cut along the edge, just along the side, cut all the way up, cut a strip off. When it comes out, it separates. Now, typically I don't do this. I don't show you guys how to open the RAM, but with full builds, not laptop builds, the RAM comes in a different package. It comes more like the SSD package, which is just plastic like this, where you could just pop the top off and pull the RAM out. But for this build, the way the RAM comes, I just thought I'd show you for posterity's sake. Again, what you want to do is you want to handle the edges of the RAM. Okay? It's okay to touch this piece and that piece as well. Alright? What you're going to do now is you're going to line it up. Again, you want to match the short side with the short side on the RAM piece here and here. So for this side, we're going to go this way. And what you do is you slide it in, okay? And as you slide it in, you just press it down, and it clicks into place. Now, what I'll show you is these little pieces right here, these little metal pieces right here, kind of snap in, right? And if you want to take the RAM out, you just pull them out, and the RAM pops up. So just push the RAM down, it locks into place. If these aren't locked in, then you don't have your RAM seated properly. We'll do that for both pieces of RAM.
If anybody needs help, let me know.
And so what you can do is this is going to be just kind of like when we get to the SSD. It kind of goes in at an angle, and then you just press down. And huzzah, the RAM is installed.
There we go.
Alyssa, do you got the RAM installed? Awesome. Looks great. What about you, Brend? Is it Brendlefly? Is that right?
Good. Brundlefly. That is
Brendlefly.
right.
All right. I can read good. If I could only talk good.
Is this a giant heatsink for the SSDs?
Yes.
I was trying to look at this. I'm like, what is this thing? It looks like a heatsink because it's a metal plate. It's pretty thick too.
Yeah, so like if you look at it, it's actually rubber, right? It's got this silicon texture. Helps disperse heat.
Oh, I see the thermal the transfer pad, but then it
Yep.
touches a giant piece of metal, which then touches the back plate, so it's acting as a giant heatsink.
Mhm.
So much better engineering than like 5 years, 10 years ago.
It's just the little things, right? The little things that they've thought up as they've moved along, that just like add that little like je ne sais quoi.
I remember like taking apart laptops from like the 2012s and 2008 era, and they are nowhere near as well designed. 3D printing has helped a lot in manufacturing processes.
Oh, that it has. So
Heat pipes have
everybody,
gotten better.
go ahead and take out your SSD. Um, Literally just lift up the top plastic piece. Again, grabbing the edges. This one is actually going to be a little bit harder to see, and you'll forgive me, I'll have to move this camera so you guys can get a better angle. But as you look down, you'll see like again like a little opening and a big opening. Don't exactly have the best to do this with, but if you trust me, they're both facing the same way.
Do we trust him?
Probably not. You shouldn't.
No.
Trust but verify always. Um, and what
Zero
I'll
trust
do
architecture.
is I'll plug this one in here in this far side, and if you notice, right, it gets a little bit harder to see here, but the screw is kind of like off a little bit. If you were to plug this in flush, it's off just a little bit. That's okay, because when this plugs in, it doesn't have to make full contact with everything. That's why these have such a long connection plate.
Can't you just undo the M2 screw and retighten it?
You can, and we will do that. But what I wanted you to see is how it's going to look before we remove the screw. I wanted you to know
Okay.
the right way to put this in. Okay?
All right.
And so they're both sides are on the right. So if you want it closer to the fan, you can put it closer to the fan, and both of them have it. They both go the same way. I'm going to put mine here away from the fan.
Yeah. At least this isn't DDR3 where you can barely tell where the center of the RAM stick is. You couldn't tell which part, like which way it's going to fit in.
Correct.
DDR1 and 2 had like what 2 notches each, and then DDR3 is like one almost center notch. Let's make this hard.
So one of the exactly. So one of the differences that you'll notice if you've ever built like a regular computer is this one like doesn't actually like pop up like it does on a tower, but that's okay.
I did notice that. Like like you're talking about, where if you take off the screw on an SSD and M2 slot, it literally like spring loads upwards like RAM sticks.
Oh yeah. And
But this one's just like nope.
when
Nope,
you
it's
screw it back
laying
down,
flat.
you're not going to screw it tight, right? You want it to be snug, but like it's not holding it down there for dear life. It's already got a solid connection. You're literally just screwing the screw in so the screw doesn't just come out on its own, and it just holds the SSD in place.
Even if the screw came out, it's going to hit the heat shield dissipation plate and it won't get out. Like it won't be able to back out all the way.
Exactly.
So yeah, imagine if you had a screw accidentally vibrate loose and then float around inside of your case.
Oh, it stink.
Look like my
Hey,
old look like
little
my
things, man.
old like stereo system. And that's it. That's all we have to do on the inside. Before you put the back plate back on, just double check, make sure that your RAM is seated properly. Your screws down, it is in the notch for the SSD, and then go ahead and put the back plate on. Okay, you want to start here. This is the front. Make sure the front is clicked in, right? So I click in the front, double check, make sure there's no gaps. Then I start sliding around to the sides, work my way to the back, pressing down. There's little clips in there that like hold the bottom plate down. And after that, get back to screwing around. Again, like all electrical equipment, especially delicate electrical equipment like PCs and laptops, you want the screws to be snug. I dare say tight. You don't have to really wrench down on them.
They have a little bit of residual Loctite.
They do. Like on the end of it, there's this nice little blue Loctite, if you would.
It's not like we need red Loctite or anything like that. Industrial grade.
That would be
Stuff
absurd.
holds up. Screws real secure.
We would rip out the screw heads and have to drill through everything.
Pretty much.
I mean, that's what they do in automotive and engineering.
Does anybody have any questions? Like, I know we kind of went through that pretty fast. Like I said, it is a extremely difficult build. So if you have questions, speak now or forever hold your peace.
I'm just falling behind because the screw is not coming up. I just don't have the right size screw head.
To get the back panel off or the SSD?
To put the SSD in.
It should be the same screw size as the ones you used to take off the back panel.
Yeah.
So you can get the back panel ones off with a bigger head. I noticed this before. I had a bigger head and I got the back ones off with it, but when I did go for the like SSD, I had to switch to a smaller one. It just wouldn't grab. But if it's, small enough to begin with, you wouldn't ever notice it. It's just that like in between phase where you have one that's just big enough to like actually grab the outside, but too big for the inside. And that's where you will run into that issue.
Since there was only one option in this build, I do have a question for everybody. Who chose the fan slot for their SSD and who chose the one that was further from the fan?
I decided to go for the one further, just for giggles.
I went further away just because of heat dissipation. I'll probably put a second SSD in here at some point because it's so easy to get access to and they're so cheap. I just wanted to go with what I know is best, which is low.
This is actually the first laptop I've come across that doesn't have a spot for a standard SATA drive. Not a big deal, really, but
SSDs or SATA SSDs and NVMe's are the same price per gigabyte now.
oh yeah, I'm talking about for bulk storage for like large SATA mechanical hard drives.
Oh yeah, I mean they're the same price though. I mean, who needs more
you
than
can
8
get
terabytes
a
of storage?
You can get like a 4 terabyte HD for like $100, and
Oh yeah.
You're not gonna find a 4 terabyte SSD for $100.
Yeah, I mean if you do, let me know. I will buy it.
Ditto.
I'm afraid of mechanical hard drive failure in laptops. I've had so many fail.
Well, I mean,
yeah, me too.
That's because laptops are meant to be moved around, and mechanical hard drives are not meant to be moved around.
Yeah, I know.
they move on their own, but they don't like to be moved.
It's just the same thing as like external hard drives being platter drives that I'm like, oh, it's scary because they're going to constantly be moved around in bags and jostled around.
Chaos, what's going on there? I see you don't have the back plate on. I think you guys were still missing your parts, right?
Yeah, we never got the hard drive or the RAM. So, I mean, we can patch it back up, but I know we won't be able to do much else.
I would recommend doing it. That way you don't run the risk of losing the screws.
At least you got to see what the inside looks like, so you have a bit of a foreknowledge when you do get those parts.
Okay, quick. Before you put the screws back on, I want you to take it off. I want you to hold it up to the camera, and I'd like for you to point out what everything is and tell me. At least the parts that we installed.
Extra points if you can name where the Wi-Fi chip is at.
We got a mic up with that.
So we got the RAM.
Okay,
here,
RAM slots, great.
and the SSD card.
Okay.
slot here.
Right.
And most people chose to put it away from the fan, which is here.
Are you going to put it close to the fan or away from the fan?
I think away from the fan.
Okay. So with that, you have a big part and a little part on the SSD side. If you're looking at the SSD port, which way is the little part?
Part is away from me right now.
Yep. All right. Cool. You have that memorized? So tomorrow, when your parts get there, because that's what I'm putting back out there. When the parts get there, that'd be great. Let's see, who else? Alyssa, how are we? We all sealed up? Great. Alexa, what about you?
I just got the screw out, so.
No, not you,
Use a
Alexa.
knife?
Alexa, stop.
God,
That's why you need to change the name. Always change the default name.
No, because then my big dumb brain says the other name thinking that's not going to be the one that does it. But it's not even that. Her name is Excella. And I always call her the other one.
So what have you renamed yours to? Everybody that has one, what have you renamed yours to?
I don't have one that I renamed.
Oh, okay.
I have Google stuff, so I don't rename it.
mine's named. She doesn't listen to me half the time, so it doesn't matter.
I prefer Alexa, so.
Kilikina? Kilikina? Did you get that screw out? Awesome.
Yeah.
That looks great. Great. Has everybody charged their laptop? I know
Nope.
Chris said you didn't. Do me a
Nope.
favor, go ahead and get that power cord, plug the laptop in. Let me know if it pops like a firecracker, because then we did something wrong. And I'll blame you for it because I never make mistakes. And I'm never wrong. I thought I was one once, but I was mistaken.
Random note, they are now producing a new standard for USB-C that can do 240 watts per port.
Yep. That's
So you can actually power gaming laptops with USB-C ports.
That's pretty neat.
I'm super excited for that. You could power this laptop with one port.
You know, right, wrong, or indifferent, I power my work laptop with the USB-C port.
I mean, if it's capable, you totally should. I mean, presuming you have a dock and everything else you hook it up to.
Yeah. We have a docking station and everything that's hooked up to.
It is charging. At least that's what I believe the blinking white light means.
I'm not going to tell you any different because I believe that's what it is. What that means.
I mean, I didn't hear a snap, crackle, pop, so.
That's good.
Anyone happen to know on this this platform, this chipset, are both of the NVMe's going through the chipset, or are they going directly?
The
Ooh.
processor? Good question.
Oh.
Don't know.
I meant to look that up beforehand. So where he's getting at is you can get slightly better performance depending on how the memory is routed. And that's usually where people like put their like gaming SSDs versus like their storage SSDs.
Yeah, like a cheaper, slower SATA SSD versus an NVMe. Because I mean, realistically, you won't see a huge performance. Well, nobody can saturate PCIe 3.8.0 anyway yet, so there's no point for 4.0.
Yeah, I mean, there are 4.0 drives, but the use cases are very, very small.
Enterprise, that's it.
Yeah.
When direct storage comes out, that would be a use case for it.
So, one of the things that I'd like you guys to take note of is like when you lift up your laptop, like just see how like not heavy it is. Okay?
Yeah, it's pretty light. I have a MacBook
Very
Pro
light.
next to me. It's heavier. It feels heavier.
Exactly. This one's only like 4 pounds, 4.08 pounds. That's what I'm reading right now. I had a gaming laptop for about a year, and that sucker was like 15 pounds. Like, I kid you not. And
Yeah, this is a really discreet build. This is nice.
and
I had one of the early generation ROGs when they still had the back end that was like this thick.
wait, how thick? How thick
Had the
was?
turbines on the back almost.
Okay.
They were.
I still have one of those ROGs.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, hold on, let me grab it.
Doesn't fit in a normal laptop bag. I had one of those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I think
when they had
Good.
when they had poor cooling solutions or it was crazy high wattage, like just the cooling dissipation technology has gotten significantly better in the past 10 years.
Well, I mean, like at one point, like it literally was just this like slimmed down version of a desktop, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was basically a slimmed down one. It wasn't even like optimized in any way.
I mean, technically, they still exist. Alienware makes one that actually uses desktop parts
Yeah,
all the way to a socketable processor.
And it requires two power supplies. Power supplies. It's called a desktop. It's a portable desktop, so it's like 12 pounds.
Yeah.
That thing is huge.
That's a thick boy right there.
Oh yeah.
That's a thing. Yep.
That's a thick boy.
Oh, mine was bigger. Mine was like, I got it, and I felt like I had some cutting edge.
If you want to see a real monstrosity, you should go see. There's one, I forget the name of it. I just remember seeing it on a YouTube stream where this thing had a full 17-inch display, and it had a mechanical keyboard. And I'm not talking, it was fully mechanical, as in mechanical switches, as in the type of keyboard that you normally have on a desktop.
Yeah, that was like the Acer one, the Acer Predator.
Yeah, it's bonkers. I'm like, what the? That's not a laptop at all. It's not going on anybody's lap. It's portable, I'll give it that, but that's about it.
So I want everybody to boot theirs up and let me know what you have on the screen. Because I'll show you something. Let me transition here.
Do I see a turbo button?
Look. Hi. I'm reflecting.
Hi.
A bootable device has not been detected. Oh no. Did you plug in your USB?
On the right port.
Yeah, you have to plug it into the right port, not the wrong port. That was one of the things we were discussing earlier was to actually get it to read, you have to plug it into the right side. Apparently the left one does not work. So we'll turn it back off, turn it back on, make it sideways. You know what? I'm sorry. Whoever gets this laptop, I'm taking this piece off. Oh no.
Or you could just do Control-Alt-Delete.
No, I like to press buttons. You know this, Chris.
Well, you're pressing 3 buttons that way. You're pressing more. Got you.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I don't. What? Oh, hello. Pumpkin spice, high energy gummies.
I have some bourbon flavored gummies right here.
Dark
Just flaky.
chocolate raspberry. Oh no.
I
Oh
have
no.
that key, but I'm not gonna show it to the stream.
Seattle. The mocha red hot.
Do I have it
chili
tilted in
peppers.
such a way that you don't see the key? Where's mine? I don't think you're gonna see it as I type it in.
So if you have it plugged in, right, you have it plugged into the right side, you should see this Windows. Now we're just teasing Cause Havoc right now, right? They're just like having to sit there and watch.
It's a little painful, but I'm excited.
You know, I'd apologize, but it's not my fault. But I apologize on behalf of shipping. We need a new logistics person if you guys are interested in volunteering. I'm sure our current logistics support would love the help because they already do too much for this organization. And
are you saying they are overworked?
I'll talk to Katie about that.
Yeah, definitely.
So wait, am I hitting F2 or F10?
Nothing. You're plugging it in and letting it load. So normally I would have an HDMI cord plugged in and plugged into my streaming computer to do this, and it's not just this ghetto version of me holding a webcam showing you the screen, just praying that you know what's going on. But, you know, we had to do some things on the fly. Thank you, Thunderstorm. But we're making it through, making our way downtown, you know. Making my way downtown.
Oh, sorry. I jumped ahead. I've installed Windows before. Not on this system, but before.
So you remember installing Windows XP or 98?
I remember installing Windows 3.1 across multiple floppies.
So I want to bring this to y'all's attention. Do you remember back in the day? Like I don't know if all of y'all are old enough to remember the old like Enter keyboards. But like this
that's different. That's the European kind.
This is like the Enter, but like reversed even, right? Because the Enter key was like that.
Why is yours like that?
Yeah, why is yours like that? Mine isn't like that.
Mine is not like that.
You have no letters on your keyboard, it looks like.
You're cursing the person that's going to get this.
I don't see letters on your keyboard.
I don't have letters on my keyboard, but I wasn't going to say anything.
What is going on?
Do you just not have the backlight on?
Mine's the lead hacker just in the guys, okay? I'm a real
You're one of those that buys blank keycaps, aren't you?
I'm not going to admit to that on stream, but yes. No, I said I wasn't going to admit to that. But like, I was just curious if anybody else had the weird little enter button, or if it was just me.
It's just you.
It's just you.
Yeah.
Swag.
What laptop did you get?
Oh,
what about you, Havoc? Do you have the regular, or do you have the normal, or do you have what Bearded has? I cannot see that from here.
Yeah, see.
Oh,
you
got
have
the
normal. Okay, cool.
He's got the regular.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
You can see it. You can see
I
his
think
Windows
somebody's
key.
messing with you.
So like, if you're
That's
lazy
slick.
and you don't actually.
Yeah, I had problems getting my camera to focus on the laptop.
It's like I don't recognize this object. Look, there's my finger.
I am a little thrown off by the keyboard layout with the set of number keys and F keys.
Oh yeah, that.
Seems...
Well,
Yeah,
either
at
that or
least
have
it's
a
not a touch bar.
gigantic as heck. Well, not gigantic as heck, but those ones with the dedicated numpads are even bigger.
Huge. Or if you wanted to like reduce the key size by 25%.
Yeah. With my big fat fingers, I'll keep the key size as they are.
I mean, I have tiny fingers and I like how big the keys are.
Yeah. I mean, this might fall off the back of a truck. I'm just saying. No promises. Might just keep this. I don't know. Delete that from the stream. Whoever's recording right now. But you don't actually have to put in a key if you're lazy. I forget.
So if any issues with the setup, my mouse isn't working. You can always hit tab to go to the next field, and you'll see that there's a highlight change, and then you hit space bar to select the item you have highlighted.
Bingo bango. Do you not have the function key and like where you like actually have it on the F? I can't really. I'd show you. I'd show you, but yeah.
Maybe my trackpad is turned off. Is there a hotkey for that? There is.
Yes.
If it has the light on, it's turned off. If you double tap the light, it turns back on.
Turned off. Yeah.
See? Magic. Do you believe in magic? And I hope you do. 'Cause I'm magical here with you. Alright, I'm done. Probably not, but I'm going to tell you that so you feel better. So we're not going to actually go through all of this. I'm not going to make y'all suffer through this. We are going to stay here, and we're going to stay here and help you get through all of the installs and the drivers. Try and get a game installed. But
my installer. Go ahead.
But I want to go ahead and tell y'all thanks so much. Really big apologies to cause havoc. That the parts didn't get there. I will definitely make myself available for you guys tomorrow or whenever they come in. So like thank you very, very much. If you have any questions, like again, I'm the Bearded Berserker. I'm in pretty much every single Landfast Discord. Appreciate you guys buying. We still have tickets for sale for the Infernal Wind Mayhem. If you haven't bought one, get one. Over $4,900 in prizes for this weekend. Thank you very much.